Hey, Ivan from the EV Stock Channel here, and today we're looking at Tesla's Q4 European sales numbers, and just how fast European countries are making the transition from combustion to electric vehicles. But before we begin, thank you to all the Patreons who make these episodes possible, and as always, none of this content is financial advice. And while I do my best, I cannot always guarantee the accuracy of the data used in this video. Now, let's get into it. Starting off with Tesla's total European deliveries, in which Tesla delivered another record 54,287 vehicles in Q4. And part of this was due to the fact that Model Y deliveries are starting to reach Europe, but keep in mind, we are still in the very early days of Model Y deliveries, and these are expected to grow substantially once Giga Berlin hits volume production, just as we saw in China once Giga Shanghai started to scale production. So let's have a look at the key markets in Europe, and we start off in the United Kingdom, in which Tesla delivered a record 12,813 Model 3s, which is almost double that of previous quarters. And part of me wonders if the UK fuel crisis had anything to do with the sudden jump in demand. I mean, imagine being in the UK, hearing from friends and family how awesome their Model 3 experience is, and then not being able to get to work or waiting for extended periods in lines waiting to get fuel. Here is a reminder of what happened in the UK last year.
Illuminated gas station signs at night are like homing beacons for Britain's fuel-starved drivers.
It's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning, and I can't believe that just a half an hour ago I woke up and I thought, oh, I don't have any petrol, I better go and get some, because this is about the only time of night you can get it.
That is, if you don't want to waste time and even more fuel during daylight hours waiting in a gridlocked line at a gas station that's just had a delivery. Sure enough, shortly after dawn, this facility was besieged. Britain has 8,300 gas stations, and according to industry analysts, more than a quarter of them are empty. For those who don't use public transport or cycle, the fuel famine is becoming what the understated British regard as irritating.
If anyone from the UK is watching, please let me know if this increases demand for EVs. Now, going back to UK sales data for the whole year of 2021, and the Tesla Model 3 became the second best selling vehicle in the United Kingdom, moving up 4 spots since September last year. Now, let that sink in for a second, because this is not against other electric vehicles, but against all vehicles. I mean, here are the top selling electric vehicles in the UK, and the Tesla Model 3 sold more than the second, third and fourth placed vehicles combined. In other words, no competition, and the only vehicle in my opinion that will compete with the Model 3 will be the Model Y. Next, when we look at the UK auto industry as a whole, battery electric vehicles made up 26% of all new car sales, and I'm seeing commentary stating that at this pace, EVs may overtake gasoline vehicles by 2025, if not earlier. So things are looking bright in the UK, and now let's move on to Germany, which was Tesla's largest European customer in 2021. And no surprise here, Tesla deliveries in Germany hit a new record in Q4, just as they did in Q3 and in Q2. Not to mention, the top selling EV in Germany in 2021 was the Tesla Model 3, with no changes in the top 4 since September of last year. As for the German auto market as a whole, 21.3% of all new vehicles were electric, and yet Giga Berlin has not yet started to produce vehicles, which will only push this number higher. Now, moving on to France, where we are seeing Tesla hit another record for deliveries in Q4 in a market that they had relatively struggled in throughout 2019 and 2020, and just like in the UK and Germany, the Model 3 was the number 1 selling electric vehicle, this time beating out the hometown Renault Zoe and Peugeot 208, while a new contender, the Dacia Spring, which happens to be Europe's cheapest electric vehicle, has moved into 4th place in overall sales in 2021. However, while some of these lower cost vehicles may be doing well in regards to sales, one area that they don't seem to be competing with Tesla in any way is safety, with reports that the Renault Zoe and the Dacia Spring have fallen flat in the latest safety tests. As this article from Driven states, Europe's cheapest electric car, the the Dacia Spring and the latest generation Renault Zoe have suffered a blow in the latest European safety ratings, recording, get this, a score of 1 and 0 respectively out of 5 stars. These new safety scores are a major embarrassment for Renault, whose Zoe electric hatch had an early advantage on the EV market, having been introduced all the way back in 2013. And it makes you think what Tesla's next generation 25,000 vehicle will do to these lower cost competitors that appear to have some safety concerns. Finally, for France, we can see that the trend towards electrification is strong, with a record 14.6% of new vehicles sold being fully electric in the month of December, and continuing the uptrend. Next, let's move on to Norway, which had another strong month of Tesla deliveries, with the Model Y outselling the Model 3. In a market where the Model 3 was again the top-selling EV in Norway for the year 2021, while the Model Y moved into third spot despite sales only starting in the second half of the year. And looking at new cars sold in Norway, December was another great month, with 67.1% of all new cars being fully electric, and if you include plug-in hybrids, the numbers would be over 90%, so combustion vehicles are really in their last days in Norway, now making up less than 10% of all new cars sold. So with Norway doing its thing, let's now move on to their neighbour, Sweden, which since Q4 of 2020 has shown consistent growth quarter after quarter of Tesla sales with the introduction of the Model Y. Looking at total sales from last year, it was the Volkswagen ID.4 and the Kia Niro that took the top 2 places in 2021 ahead of the Model 3, while in just 6 months, the Model Y was able to move into 7th place, so look for the Model Y to keep moving up the field in 2022. And check this out, 36.4% of Sweden's new car sales were electric in the month of December, almost double where they were at this time last year. I mean, this is just exponential growth. Meanwhile in Switzerland, Tesla recorded a record quarter in Q4 with the help of 677 Model Y deliveries. And while these numbers may not seem that big, consider this, the Tesla Model 3 was the best-selling vehicle in Switzerland for all of 2021, even beating out all the ICE vehicles. So great news out of Switzerland, and I'm glad Elon's taking notice. The final country we're going to look at is the Netherlands, in which Tesla sold just over 2,000 vehicles, while the percentage of new cars sold in December was 58%. But as you can see in the Netherlands, there's been some wild fluctuations in EV sales, depending on the incentives that were available at the time. Meanwhile, the top 3 selling EVs in the Netherlands were the Skoda Enyaq, followed by the Kia Niro and the Volkswagen ID.4, while the Tesla Model 3 was the 6th best-selling EV. So to wrap things up, Tesla deliveries in Europe have increased 6 quarters in a row. China-built Model Ys are proving to be popular, even in the low volumes that they're arriving in, while the Model 3 has been the best-selling electric vehicle in the top 3 European auto markets, the UK, Germany and France, not to mention also the top-selling EV in Norway. And now, all eyes are on Giga Berlin to see when deliveries will begin and how fast the ramp will be. On a final point, in 2018, Norway was Tesla's biggest market in Europe. In 2019, when the Model 3 arrived, the Netherlands took the top prize. In 2020, it was the United Kingdom, and in 2021, it was Germany. Who will be Tesla's top European market in 2022? Let me know in the comments below. And stay tuned for more episodes of the Tesla documentary series, which will be released soon, along with my analysis of the upcoming Tesla earnings. So until next time, have a great day.